And what I know about disease now is disease is not just about what we put in our mouth. It's also about what's going on in our head and in our heart. So that diagnosis for me, it really was a blessing in disguise because it really made me go within, and I had to deal with some childhood trauma stuff that we never talk about. Because we can show up in places and spaces and look like we got it all together. We've been trained that way. So we don't talk about what's going on in the inside. We don't talk about what we've been through, because then if you lived in a black household, you keep what goes on in this house. You keep it, even if it's something negative, even if it's something dysfunctional. So we grow up not dealing with that trauma. So I grew up in the hood. We were on welfare. We lived in the projects and dealt with all of the stuff that goes along with that. See, I thought that, selling drugs, because, my dad, he was a pharmaceutical salesperson. Not the legal kind. And people, if your parent is something, they kind of expect for you to be that. But as a kid, I always was a dreamer. So every house we had, I would make my closet into an office, and I would pretend like I was a businessman. I would have my mother give me a newspaper. I was reading the stock market, didn't know what any of that meant. But I always knew I wanted to be a businessman, not like my dad and his friends. I didn't want to go where they were going, And so what I learned from that is what we're often called to be and become is revealed to us when we're young. But people talk us out of our dreams. They talk us into their limitations. But for me, one of the blessings that happened for me growing up, I wasn't a great student. I wasn't a good athlete. On my best day, I got a C. That was a good. One time I got a B, and my mother got excited. I was like, Mama, don't get too excited, because I don't know why she gave me a B. But I got involved in this program called the Upward Bound program. Anybody ever heard of Upward Bound program? It was a program for kids who were first-time generation college students, low income. And I signed up only because they gave you $5 for coming on Saturday. That was my only motivation. I wasn't coming for any, but it was a blessing in disguise because it exposed me to folks that looked like me, who came from the same community that I came from, that had gone on to college. So it gave me a bigger vision for what my life could be. So here I am now talking about college. In my household, nobody in my family went to college. And so I got into college, and as a kid, my dream, my goal was always to take care of my mom, because she had gone through so much. Because not only was my dad a pharmaceutical salesperson, he was also addicted to what he was selling. So he was addicted to heroin. He was abusive to my mother, and that was part of my trauma. Seeing my mother be abused and not be able to do anything about it. And when I'm a mama's boy. My mother's my everything. And so my why became, I want to make enough so I can take care of my mom. Now, I was an insecure kid, because when your family and your parents got their own trauma, they can't speak life into you the way we need to do our kids. Tell our kids that they're great. Tell our kids that they can do and become everything they want. I didn't get that, so I had so much insecurities, but I had a big why. My why was, I need to take care of my mom. So let me do whatever I have to do to take care of my mom. So I ended up going to college, not because I had to grades, because like I told you, on the best day I got a C. And they were talking about this SAT test. Well, back then they used to give you 400 points for getting your name right. Well, my scores weren't that much higher, but I ain't gonna tell y'all what they were. But they let me in college on a probationary basis. Got into college, and I felt so insecure, because when you go as a freshman, they expect for you to have read certain books, Moby Dick and all these classics. I hadn't read any of those books, but I ended up having to take all these remedial classes. Took me almost 6 years to get out of college. Now, my mother didn't know much about college, but she knew you're supposed to graduate after 4 years, and why am I still there after 6? But I finally got a degree, was able to got a job working with the government, and my mother thought I had arrived. My mother was so proud of me, but I wasn't proud of myself because that's not what I wanted. But I got a job, and I got a supervisor who couldn't stand me. Her name was Sharon Harrison Brown. Again, she was a blessing in disguise because she couldn't stand me. Everything I did was wrong. Nothing I did was right. But she was the one that forced me to make a decision. I was either going to stay in that job that I hated, and most people who worked there hated it. Their only conversation was about retiring one day. I'm like, I don't want to stay somewhere for 30 years that I don't like. And the folks, when you get to retirement, you're on all kind of medications because all the stress you've been dealing with the folks you don't like and all of that. I don't want that. So Sharon became a blessing for me because she made me make a decision to start my own business. Started my own business, took a second mortgage on my home, and started this business called the Fall Employment Agency. Didn't know what I was doing. Started the business. 6 months into the business, I ended up filing bankruptcy. But then about a year later, the business, something suddenly happened. You ever had one of those suddenly experiences where you working, but nothing has happened, and then suddenly happened, and I got $1 million contract. I had just gotten this idea. I'm a single dad. And my son, but at that time was about 2. I remember walking him around the lake, because that's where I would go to kind of clear my mind. And my car, I was driving this hoopty. It was a Chevy Monza. If you under 40, you ain't never heard of a Chevy Monza because they don't even make those no more. So I'm driving the Chevy Monza with primer on the side because the person who I bought it for had wrecked it and I couldn't afford to get it fixed. But I got a vision that I was going to get $1 million contract. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I don't know. And then I got a call. This guy had heard about my company. He said, I just keep hearing about your company, the Fall Employment Agency. I don't know why. And I'm like, I don't know why either, but what I do know is that God will make your name great and he will present you before people that I ain't never even met this man. So I got the contract and I was able to do all the things that I wanted to do for my mom. I bought her a house. I bought her a car and I was so happy. And then life happened again. My mom passed suddenly of a heart attack. And I went through a period where I no longer had a why. And I stopped having the drive to push forward because my why was gone. So there was a 10-year period where there was drought. I went from making almost $4 million in 1 year. I was at Black Enterprise. I was an Entrepreneur magazine. Now I'm living in Atlanta. I had an experience where things got so low that I had to apply for food stamps. It's the same person who just a few years ago was in Black Enterprise making almost $4 million in a year. Now I got a son I got to feed, and it was the most humiliating experience for me to have to go apply. That was something I never, and I remember having to go to the office because you couldn't get the folks on the phone, so you had to go in person. I'm like, oh my God, I just hope nobody don't see me. So I go there, I put on a little suit trying to look a little different. I don't know if I had an interview. For some reason I had on a suit when I went to the welfare office. And I'm getting on the elevator and somebody saw me who knew me from the gym. He worked there. He said, oh, I didn't know you worked here. I was like, yeah, I work here. Yeah, I work here. And for me, it was so humiliating. But this is what I realized. I realized part of the reason why I lost everything, number one, my why. I didn't have my why. And another reason was I never So often we're spending so much energy trying to prove to other people, trying to protect something, and try to pretend that we don't realize that our value is given to us at birth. And losing everything allowed me to see that, because I had to go back and do the real internal work. But before that happened, I got the cancer diagnosis. Now I'm just building myself back up. And then I get the diagnosis, and then I realize there's a lot going on inside of me that I need to unpack and need to let go and to free myself so that I can live in the freedom that I always dreamed of. And so I had to go do something that most folks don't want to do, especially, black folks, your cousins. Y'all don't want to get therapy, but I had to go get me some therapy because I had to talk to somebody to help give me some tools to understand how to get out of my own way. There's this thing that they talk about, imposter syndrome and all this other stuff. I had to get to the truth of who I was. So here I am going through cancer, and when I was telling people about the whole cancer diagnosis, folks was thinking, I could look in their eyes and tell they was thinking death. Well, I never thought I was going to die. Other people may have thought that. But I realized, too, that if I left, I win, or if I stay, I win. It was a win-win. But I never thought I was going to die. But I did realize I was going to have to do some things differently. I was going to have to start fueling my body differently. I was going to have to start thinking differently. And I was going to have to release some resentment and some anger and some hatred that I was holding in that was literally making me sick. And we don't realize we angry at first at people. We got resentment toward people. It ain't hurt nobody but the person you look at in the mirror. And the moment you realize that, you free yourself to get and to be everything you ever wanted to be. And for me, that was when things started to turn. And I got an idea. I'm on this healing journey. I happened to meet an herbalist who told me, you can go ahead and do the regular cancer treatment if you want to, but you need to make some changes. You need to make some change. She started telling me about natural herbs to take and, fueling my body and telling me the truth that food is really medicine. It's really medicine. And the fact of the matter is, so much of the food that we have in this country is really poisoning us. There's so many things in the food that we have that's banned in other countries, but it's common here. And we wonder why more and more people are getting cancer. Well, look at what we're consuming. Look at what we're putting in our bodies. If you're putting toxins in your body, something is going to happen. And it's so interesting because 70% of Americans are on some type of prescription medication. And we are the most stressed out people, and we eat all of this poison. And those two things are the recipe of disease, but nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about it. We've gone accustomed just to taking pills. And the pills are even toxic. The medication is toxic. And so I started slowly changing my diet. My family couldn't understand because it's so culture. Food is so much of our culture and all our memories. And, remembering Big Mama's her pie and her cakes that she used to make that used to give you so much comfort. People get mad with you when you start changing. People don't want you to change because that makes them feel uncomfortable. They want you to stay the same. But I'm trying to live, baby. I'm trying to live. I'm trying to live. My health is more important than your feelings. My peace is more important. And so as I started changing, change didn't immediately cure my body because I had been eating like I had been eating for 48 years. I'm 58 now, but I was at 48. I had been eating that way. And I'm like, okay, I'm drinking juice and, stop eating dairy and all these other things. I'm like, okay, when are the healing going to come? Because I'm dealing with everything. pain from the cancer, erectile dysfunction, and I'm up there wearing Depends. I'm like, no, but I had to get the colored ones, the cool ones, because I'm like, if somebody accidentally see my Depends, I'm at least going to have some nice ones on. But I went through all that, and it was about a year before my body started to heal. Because healing is another thing that doesn't often happen instantly. I mean, we want stuff to happen immediately, but it's one of those things that it takes a while, and then suddenly you wake up, everything is working. Everything is working now. I'm 58, and it's all good now. It's all working. And so this is what I just want to say to you, that healing is possible, but it starts with change. Change is possible, healing is possible. And we have to be willing to do the work that's for us. And the work sometimes makes us feel uncomfortable because it can be lonely when you're on the healing journey. It can be very lonely when you are on a healing journey. But let me tell you how good God is. So I lost everything. I was in the food stamp line 10 years ago, and God turned everything around. And today I'm able to live in the freedom to just come out here to Houston, Texas, just to be with y'all, because what I know is that, Les Brown said it like this. He says, when you fall down, he says, fall backwards, because if you can look up, you can get up, because we all are going to fall. We are all going to fall. And there's a scripture that I like that says, after you have suffered a little while, there's some restoration that's going to take place in your life. And that's all I really came to say, because I know I'm over my 20 minutes. I just feel like I went way over 20 minutes, and I know there's a time later. So I just encourage you, to be good to yourself, to be patient with yourself, and to know that change is possible, healing is possible. And while you're doing all that, get your juice on. Get your juice on. All right.
Wow, that was amazing. Thank you very much. And if there's anything that is common in everything that all the speakers have said today, is we have to take action, right? We've heard stories of how people were in certain situations, and then by taking actions, they are where they want to be today. How many people can boast that they had cancer and they made it out, right? So because he believed that it was possible for him, today he's here to be able to encourage us. And I want us not to just see today as any other meeting. I think we've heard powerful words from a lot of people today. And I'm meant to be like the timekeeper. I'm almost forgetting my time. I'm like, keep going, right? Because there's just so much to be able to collect from people. And I want us all to be able to collect that, because that's what's going to fuel us to also keep going, so that we can become who we also have destined to be. And I hope that all of us, after we've taken that paper, that we're going to write what we truly want, so that when we reflect 10 years from now, we're like, hey, in that meeting, I wrote what I wanted to become, and today I am living that life. And I hope that that's going to be every one of us message here today. All right, thank you so much. So I'm going to call on our very last speaker for today, and I hope I do not butcher your name, but I am going to go ahead and welcome Vladdy on stage. All right, give it up for Vladdy. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm going to start with saying thank you. I'm going to say thank you because I'm super proud to see my beautiful Wunmi what she achieved. And I was one who started with her, and she just, I remember her saying, I can't do it. It's whoa. And look where she is today. So thank you for having us here today. Thank you for every single one of you. Because if you weren't here, the universe would be out of alignment. Every single one of you have so much potential and gift, but we don't always use it. I'm going to say thank you for organizers, the hotel, every single person. The reason I'm starting is because gratitude is the most powerful thing you can do in your life. It immediately hooks you to abundance frequency, regardless of the situation you're in. And I'm starting like that because my story is similar to Harold's. And not always I was grateful to God. And what happens to us, we find ourselves in the hole, let me say that way, because we all do. we look at people, like Nolan was saying, successful, but so many times they're on the floor crying, and it takes things to get up. People don't just, okay, some of them may be born, but people actually grow into success. So it was dark moment for me, and I chose the story out of many other failures, which I do agree failures are opportunity to grow, where it was this dark place. And I remember I was sitting in my room, looking through the window, there was this light, but everywhere else felt really dark, because I said, God, why are you doing this to me? What did I do to you? Was I not grateful enough? Did I do things wrong? Was I not living and up to the expectations? Because when we find ourselves in a hole, we tend to blame God or someone else. It's the society, it's the parents, it's whoever it is. Just quickly get that plate somewhere else. But what was happening, it's not gratitude, it's the constant place. It's the state we're in permanently, like continuously, or dominantly, I'm gonna say. Because where you don't feel grateful, you lost. And I say, what my mentors say to me, if you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. Because we're the only ones who dig the hole. Nobody else is digging it for us. So I was in this room and I said, God, why? I mean, I may die. I have small children. Why are you punishing me? And I'm not ready to die. I haven't even raised my kids. There was something, I knew there was more. And I looked at that light coming through the window, feeling the darkness inside me, thinking, what did I do wrong? Here I was, crawling emotionally, feeling lost, feeling, why me? I was this healthy girl. I actually was one of those who fed healthy food, breathing. I'm a climber, mountains, a natural world. I would refuse to even say the C word because I believe that there's so much energy associated with it, so I would not even say it. I was like, that can never happen to me. So I actually came from a place where I was just healthy. I thought I was doing all the right things, so why me? I mean, we often ask, why me? As if there was supposed to be someone else. So we feel sorry for ourselves and we just can't understand, why are you doing this to me, God? So now every morning I wake up and before my feet touch the floor, I feel thanks for another day. Because my feet touch the ground. We do not know how much time we have. We all here and we really don't know how much time we have. And we have to really wake up with this enthusiasm to, I'm gonna live it the best I can. My grandfather used to say to me, graveyard is the richest place on earth. Do you know why? Because everybody takes their gifts, knowledge, experiences with themselves. So you're here to do something, to help someone, but if you don't say yes to yourself, you're actually doing this favor to others. I used to be, the biggest fear of my life was speaking. And if you saw me 7 years ago, I would say, you will never see me on a stage. Now I'm like, bring it on. Like any stage I can be on. I'm struggling a little bit today because they gave us 15 minutes. So I'm more of like, throw me for 3 hours and I'm rolling. But going back to the story, so I didn't accept the diagnosis. I knew that I couldn't become one with it. There was something inside, but then you come home, you walk with this courage because I felt this bravery. There's no way I'm doing the treatments because I'm not losing my hair. My husband was like, that's what you're worrying about? I was like, yes. I'm just not having any chemo because I knew something inside me was so strong. And I knew that actually if I do go through chemo, I will die. So I made a decision that I will just not. So I did what Harold did, and I just found healers, practitioners, and I did whatever I took. I actually healed in 8 weeks. It was hard, but I will tell you this, what we do, we have this baggage. It's like this invisible bag. And I used to go through, oh, hi guys, hi, oh yes, sure, 5 o'clock tomorrow, you're moving. Okay, yeah, I will be there, knowing that my calendar is full. Oh yeah, sure, okay, yeah, I'll get you the report by 12 tomorrow, you'll have it. Oh no, oh goodness, she's sick. Okay, let me pick her up, the school nurse called. Oh, I've got this meeting, can we reschedule this meeting? Or maybe, oh, let me handle it, because I grew up, my mom telling me female in our family are strong. You don't ask for help, you just handle it. And I was putting all this baggage into my invisible, performing for everyone else, holding it all, not asking for help, throwing it over my shoulders, and as you go, you bend until you really bend and you crack. So one day I met my friend Sarah, and she said, oh my God, there's this guru, you have to watch him, personal development world. And I rolled my eyes like, oh my God, another guru, another program, another thing. People just steal money, they just want to make money so they're rich. I'm not studying with anyone. We got home and something just told me to press the play. It was my mentor who actually mentored me, Bob Proctor, who said, if you find yourself with disease, it means your mind is not at ease. And I thought, whoa, literally shook my body. It was like, I know that message was for me. I didn't even understand it fully. I was like, what does it really mean? If your mind is not at ease, it means that I put myself where I was. And I had to take a responsibility that for every feeling, thought, personal growth, love, and every result I've got I'm responsible for. It was the hardest thing for me because there was no way I was going to admit that I'm responsible for the diagnosis. I was like, this is just not my fault. But I was stressed, as I was talking, overwhelmed, running like a loony. I was actually from a corporate legal job, taxes, very successful career, but I had no time freedom. And if you don't have time, financial and mental freedom altogether, you're not going to have a leaping up. You can have all the money in the world and zero time to enjoy it. Or you may have all the time in the world and no money, or no mental freedom. It's not balanced. So what really brought me in, I woke up and I knew that I had to do something differently. So I made a decision that I will do whatever it takes to learn everything about mind, self-image, and truth, who I am. Who are you? Ask yourself a question. Do you know who you are? You will probably come up and tell me the name and where you come from and whatever basic information we give to people. But every single one of you is a spirit having a human experience. You have so much potential inside of you, you can light up the whole city. But we only use less than 30% potential. So we came through mirror system, which that's why we paired up with AD and wanted to really create something that helps people who go through any kind of struggles. Because there is only one thing, you learn how to control your mind and your work and really release your full potential, and it works for your love life, financials, health. It doesn't matter what it is in a life you're struggling. We all struggle with things, but do not compare yourself with anyone else. You give away your power. The only person you compare yourself, am I better today than I was yesterday? You can get 1% better, 1%, that's all you need to be 1% better, and in 365 days, you made a 365 degrees loop. That's the whole circle. Completely, entirely different person. Because you do small things in a great way. You set big goals, but you take one step at a time and do it fully. And if you don't find joy in your journey, then you're not arriving at the destination. It's not about the destination. We set goals just because we want to, it's who we become in a process of getting to the goal, but it's got nothing to do with the goal. It's who we become in a process. So the most powerful way I can say that is I am. It's a Bible verse, I am that I am. Would you put unto I am, that's who you become. What are the statements you're making? I'm strong, I'm powerful, I can do this, or I'm not good enough. I don't have enough education, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough of this, and when my kids grow up, then I will do it. No, we won't. Delay is the biggest killer of success. Step into the greatness now, because you do not know how much time you have left. None of us do. So going into I am, I stands for identity. So who are you? Make that statement. What does success means to you? It means something else for every single one of you, and follow that definition, because your mind thinks in pictures. So what's the picture you hold in your mind of yourselves feeling successful, feeling happy, feeling healthy? It's that is the definition. And if you don't replace this picture in your mind, then your self-image, the identity, shuts you down like the thermostat. If we put the degrees in the temperature, sorry, I'm from Europe, so I do degrees, but if it's 25 degrees and you still feel cold and you want it 30, tough luck, it's gonna shut down at 25. And that's your internal self-image of who you believe you are. That's gonna shut you down regardless of how big your dream is and how further you wanna go. You have to replace that inner self-image. And then I am, A is for align. So align to this identity, step into this identity, feel that this is who I am, and be unapologetic about who you are. People either like you or don't, but stop needing approval. It was the best thing that happened to me when I stopped needing an approval. Because it doesn't matter what other people say to you or what they do, you know you are the worthwhile person. And that's all that matters. You surround yourself with the right people. M is to move in. So you move into the identity. You create calm and order in your life. How do you create calm? I've changed because the identity is really coming from the place of calm, because if we're fracturing and there's too much chaos in our life, that's where we make the wrong decision. We make it from the place of uncalm or chaotic and disorder. So that is going to attract the same energy in people, money, opportunity, everything's vibrating the same energy. And we don't realize this very often, that we're making decisions from desperate situations, and that's what kind of even attracts worse things for us. I've got this for you. So we created calm and order with AD, which when we kindly put into it, if you want to look it up, that's how we help people to actually, there is a code. Who wants the 5? I'm from England, if anyone doesn't know, UK. We've got the King's one, so who wants the $5? Thank you, sir. What about now? You still want it? What about now? Doesn't matter what I do to this, it still has value. This is you. If somebody tells you, oh, you don't have what it takes to do what you want to do, you're gonna say, oh, throw it away. Or somebody tells you, oh, you know, like you don't have any education. Well, that's their opinion. And other people's opinions are just their opinions. If it's an opinion of the right person you're surrounded by, then it's important. So really, it doesn't matter what people tell you. Even if I rip it off, the bank will still give it back to you because it has its value. So know your value and know your worthiness, because the truth is, if we don't feel worthy and loved, nobody else. We need to fill our cup first. You can't give what you don't have. Took me so long to understand. I said to people, no, you don't understand. I'm serving people. By the way, it's yours. You sort of don't understand what it takes, but really, it's think about mirror. I want you to do one thing today. You go anywhere out of the hotel, at your home, when we actually said it will be next room, look in a mirror Look into your eyes. You can't look at the same eyes at the same time. It's impossible. So look into your middle of one eye and then the other and say, I love you. But not with rolling eyes like, oh, I love you. Oh my God, this feels weird. When I started this exercise, that was so weird. I was like waking up and saying, I love you. Oh my God. I was like, I can't do this. It took me so many days to actually feel comfortable to say, I love you. So when we're serving people and we're saying, but I'm giving so much. If your cup, which means your self-love, self-worthiness and self-deserving is half full, that's what you're giving because you can't give more. What if you fill it first? Then you're going to attract more financial opportunities, better partners, better life, because you are full. So it always starts inside us. Transformation doesn't start outside. It starts inside of us. So we created a calm and order because it really requires to calm the chaos, create an order, but we're not talking order in your calendar. We're talking love and relationship, financial, health and well-being, and work. Because really what happens is we need to feel I am more than good enough. I want you to write this on the top of your mirror. I've got this for my kids. And in your mind, see the picture. So the minute you walk into your bathroom, you don't even have to read it anymore. You know that the sign is I am more than good enough. When sometimes the cleaners come and occasionally I tell them to swipe it all off, and I write it, and my kids immediately run in and they're like, put back the sign, put back the sign. They're so used to having I am more than good enough, you don't have to repeat this to them. It's like the kids, we want to tell them how to live, but they're not listening to us. You're a role model, they're paying attention to what you do. Your clients watch you do. You have to walk your talk. You can't be telling something people and not doing it yourself. You have to really align yourself first. So the mirror work is I love you. Really look in a calendar, look in your, everywhere you can write these reminders, just say I love you. Because really it's just, if we don't love ourselves and don't find that thing that we're proud of ourselves, like praise yourself, little wins. Great, I did that. I'm really good. We feel silly. Somebody said to me, but this is so selfish to keep saying it to yourself. Is it? It's selfish of me to love myself, but it's not selfish of you to tell that I shouldn't love myself? So the thing is, really, I am. Who are you? Are you using your full potential? What are the things that can absolutely take you? It can take one decision. Just make a decision that you're going to get 1% better every day, no matter what, and love yourself. Because you all are more than good enough. And thank you. I'm Vladikuna, and through so many challenges, I'm a co-founder of Mira System. I'm a 3 times international best-selling author. I'm a coach. I have a podcast called Faith Building Podcast. And I'm the best mom in the world. That doesn't mean to say that you're not. Make that statement too. You are best moms as well. We can be all of us who says you're the best because you compare only yourself to yourself yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was amazing. I think if there's one thing that resonates with me, it's who am I? And I'm going to go upstairs to my hotel room and I'm going to go repeat that to my wall and say who I am. And I think it's amazing that every day we're reminded of the little things that we can do to make ourselves better. It's been amazing. But before we bring today's talk to an end, I want to quickly invite someone else on stage quickly by the name Valin. All right, let's give it up for Valin.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, everyone. How are you today? That was absolutely amazing. This is my book. I'll be talking about that at some point. And I'll just put it right there as well. Actually, you know what? Put a little higher here. All right, so wow, Vladdy. Whew, That was amazing. Everyone, I mean, Harold, oh, just all of it. Nolan, everybody here in this room, we're here through connection. And the wonderful Womni, my beautiful friend, I'm so proud of you. You did it. We are here today. And I am just, wow, this is amazing. And my journey started about, I would say my story that got me here today and writing this book. My inspiration was, I'm a mother, I'm a single mom, 2 beautiful boys, and I went through a divorce. And when that happened for me, I know that happens to many of us, right? I, also lost my job, and within 3 weeks. My marriage ended and I lost my job. So I realized, wow, I have to take care of myself, right? And get myself feeling good. And what I did was I started to move my body. I realized for the last year or so, I kind of lost myself, and I was doing some yoga here and there, which really wasn't my favorite thing to do, and it's amazing. So I just one day went outside, and it was 95 degrees out. I had the kids running around, threw my hair up in a bun, and I went live on Facebook. I was like, I don't care what y'all are going through. If you move your body, you will feel good no matter what. And I started doing this crazy insanity workout with Shanti, and shout out to him, because it is no joke. And so when I started doing that, it's something like just lit on fire inside of me, and it didn't even hit me until I started writing this book. And the reason I started writing this book was because of one of my amazing mentors, who Vladdy mentioned, Bob Proctor. When I got introduced to him through a live seminar, beginning of the pandemic, this is how I met so many people in this room, Nolan Davis and Womni and Adi, and it's such an amazing journey, and David Lovelace back there. And so I realized that once you move your body, you feel good, right? But where does it start? It actually starts in the mind. So in order to achieve the results that you truly desire for your body and your mind, no matter what you're going through in life, if you have a health ailment, if you have something that hits you, that crashes you down, whether it's a divorce or a loss of a loved one, you don't have to wait years to step into your greatness and feel good. And so you can absolutely do this through achieving the results you desire by focusing on the right thing. So you actually can get started. And what I did was, after studying with Bob Proctor and learning about the power of the mind and the power of awareness, you can absolutely achieve the results you desire by focusing on the right thing. And the first step that I basically tried to take, this is not an easy task, what Bob teaches, what Neville Goddard taught, and Rhonda Burns in The Secret, shout out to her, because it is not a secret. So the title of my book is called Fit and Fabulous, The Secret to Your Dream Body in 3 Simple Steps. Transform your mind and your body by focusing on the right thing and moving your body. So what you need to do is what we've been talking about this whole night, and it's amazing how everything is so connected. The first thing is being. That's the first step. So how are you all feeling? Like right now, the energy in this room, right? How are we all feeling? So the first thing that you want to do is, in order to get started on achieving the results you desire, is focusing on the right thing and creating a goal card by doing that. And so you want to get clear on that. And how many of you have either struggled losing weight or struggled with a fitness routine, or you say, I'm going on vacation in 2 weeks, I can't have that glass of wine, or you beat yourself up for the food you eat, right? So you want to, we've all been there, right? We know people that have been there. So what we want to do is actually focus on the target weight, because what happens is the thermostat effect. And this is what I've learned from Bob Proctor and Maxwell Maltz in the book, The Psychocybernetics. The psychocybernetic mechanism in our brain literally brings us back on track. So it's like a thermostat in a room. When it's set at 70 degrees, if it's 80 outside, it'll bring the room right back to 70. That is how our subconscious mind is programmed. So our body is an instrument of the mind, and it literally does exactly what the mind tells it to do, regardless if it's not what you want. You may make a decision like, oh, wait a second, like I thought I wanted to lose weight, or I thought I went on a diet. I went on a diet and it worked for a month, and then you find yourself frustrated. So you got to program your mind. And you do that by just writing it down, on a goal card. And step 2 is seeing. You got to see it. The art of visualization. And this is where what Woman is talking about here, and Vladdy, and it's, you want to literally just write it down, bring that with you. Start out in the morning, during the day, at night, put it on your mirror in your bathroom, just get clear on what you would love and have that in front of you and really feel it real. And one of my other amazing mentors, Peggy McCall, she has, she learned from Bob Proctor and really developed it, is the life script. It's the movie. You get to create your own movie, and it's not just for your body and how you want to look and feel. It's your mind as well. So you want to really get started and focus on that. And then also, step 3, it's no surprise, is moving your body. You've got to take action. And if you think you have to work out for 3 hours a day, you do not. I have David Lovelace back there. I know he may spend, how many hours a day do you spend in the gym? Yeah, it all depends. But to achieve the results you desire, you absolutely don't have to do that. But think about it though. We move throughout our day. We have, from the moment we get up in the morning, how you move throughout the day. You start with gratitude. We gotta stop beating ourselves up, and that's where the first 2 steps really get you. And then moving into action. You can do HIIT style workouts. You can do so many things you can do to work out. You can go to the gym. You can get a personal trainer. You can get a workout partner. Dance in your kitchen. Just move your body, and you will feel good no matter what. And it really starts with you. And one of the things that I've learned from Neville Goddard as well is living in the end. So it's literally going there in your mind and feeling it real. And you can absolutely achieve the results you desire. I am going to be here for the rest of the night as well. So please come talk to me. I'd love to hear your story and how I can help you achieve the results you desire. And thank you so much. Thank you, Wumni.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. All right, so right now it's time for questions. So if anybody has any questions, it'll be great to hear it. I could pass the mic. Anyone has any questions or even any suggestions or anything you want to contribute? Awesome. All right. Thank you, David. I think I heard that. David?
Yes, it's David Lovelace. I asked God this morning, and I always ask God, what is it that you want me to do? And Nolan knows me for always putting God first in everything I do. It's easy to say it, it's easy to preach it, but to actually do it. We're all here, being motivated and, taking the step sometimes is the most challenging thing because we so fall into our routine of doing the same thing over and over again because it's comfort and it's something that we're used to and it's something that we've done for so long. It's hard to break. They say it takes 21 days to make or break a habit. I don't believe that. It takes longer, but that's all right that it takes longer than that. Some people, yeah, you might take 21 days. I don't know anyone that's ever broken a habit in 21 days, but at least, just like she was saying before, you take that one step. Just like you look at the top of the Empire State Building. It's just one step at a time. You look at, oh my God, I can't do it. But next thing you know, you're at the top. So this is what I'm doing. I'm piggybacking off of what everyone is saying here. Yes, we're here to motivate each other, but the number one thing is action. And thank you so much. You've also inspired me to also keep that fire because a lot of people don't know that I was feeling really, really down, and I honestly didn't want to come, be truthful, but I'm glad I did because, again, I asked God, where do you want me to go? And I want to say I'm thankful for you guys that I was able to come and hear, and then I was changing my clothes, and then I needed to get to the room to get in because I came here with the tank top. I was like, I wasn't trying to come here dressed like this. I wanted to look, formal. And so I was like, that's just the devil trying to discourage me. And I didn't allow that to happen. I went upstairs, got in my clothes, came down, and I still received a lot of this message. So again, I'm just trying to be a vessel, trying to be an example of pushing forward even when you don't feel like doing it, because people look at me and say, oh my God, you work out so much. I don't want to work out all the time. But when I push myself, sometimes those end up being the best workouts. So Hello? My motivation for you guys today is just take action. Even if you don't feel like doing it, if the cause is right, good results are going to happen. There's no substitute for hard work.
Awesome. Thank you very much. All right. Anyone else? Was awesome. Thank you very much.
So I want to say how grateful I am, and I can totally relate, Lovelace. Like, really, the enemy was really pushing for me not to go. I just came from Florida, where I'm originally from, and my aunt, who is very sick from sickle cell, it was one of the most tumultuous trips for me because I saw her in so many crises, and I was like, God, I'm so depleted. I just don't know how I have the strength and the energy to even go and to receive, because all I keep thinking about is home. And God was like, no, you gotta push. You gotta push. There's something there for you. And so I just wanna say thank you so much for taking the time, all of you. And I'm trying to cry. 2 years ago, God told me to come to Houston. I didn't know nobody. And I was like, you want me to move for my family, for my friends, from everybody? And God was like, you're too comfortable. You gotta go, because what I have for you is not in Florida. It's where I tell you to go. And it has been such a faith journey. And I feel like right now, I was like, oh, this is why, God, you're telling me to come here. Because there's people that are here that's gonna help you to get there to where God has for you. So I'm just wanna encourage anyone who may feel like, hey, I just got here, I don't know anybody. The Lord always calls you out of your comfort zone to grow. You will never grow in your comfort zone. And so I just wanna say thank you. My question rather is, how do you keep this momentum? My problem is not starting. My problem is in the thick of it, having people around me to keep me accountable, to like light that fire. Cause sometimes it's so hard cause you feel alone, especially when you're on this growth journey. There's not a lot of people. They be like, girl, I wanna be comfortable. I don't got time to be drinking no juice. I follow Harold a lot, so. And so, like, sometimes you just feel alone in the journey, you know, because many people say they want change until it's time to change. And then they see what it requires, and they settle for an ordinary life. So I know God hasn't called me to an ordinary life. I tried, he won't let me. So I want to just finally be obedient and be like, okay, God, you didn't call me to be ordinary. Okay, fine. You win, Lord, finally. But how do you keep this momentum going? And I know it's with connecting with beautiful people like yourselves, and I want to stay connected, but everyone has their lives and their purpose, and you can't always pull on them because they're busy doing their purpose. So I guess my question to the panel is, how do you keep the momentum?
Let me give it to him to probably get started.
You know, for me, it's just really about creating habits. Because when you create a habit, you'll do it even when you don't want to do it. Like when I first started on social media, first of all, I was like, nobody wants to see no 50-year-old man making juices. And nobody's watching my videos for the longest, you know, for like a couple of years. But I kept doing it because I knew that that's what I was supposed to do. So even when I was getting 20 and 30 views, you know, I had just developed a habit of just doing it, even when I didn't feel like doing it. So for me, it's just, you know, creating a habit and just, you know, just doing it even when you don't feel like it.
Thank you. All right, let's have someone else. All right, thank you.
First of all, you guys, let's celebrate her. Let's celebrate her for being, you know, open and speaking up. And I also want to say, did you guys know she wants to be a speaker? Did you guys know that? I mean, I'm going to call it out there because we just talked about that today. If we want to do something, let's step into it, girlfriend. You know, let's step into it. You were amazing right there. And you, just what you said, you were able to help somebody else out because you're not the only one thinking the same thing. Okay? So you're here now and you have a question, right? Let me sell my girlfriend right here. Vladi Kuna. Was she not amazing up there? That's nothing, you guys. And not just that, but before I decided to partner up with her, before I decided that, I tested her. I had a lot of my girlfriends on my side, people that I knew needed a little bit of help. I had them coach with her because I needed to see before I stepped in with anybody, when you partner up with somebody, it's like a freaking marriage. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be with somebody unless I can trust them and they have their word. You know, if they say something, they will make it happen. So if you go into here and you look for Vladi Kaluna, she's the one in red, I mean, your question is solved. You will not be the same person in 30 days. And I've already mentioned to you guys a little bit of where I'm from and the people that I'm around. My clients are at a certain level, and you have to be pushed because they're tough. Every single one of them, she has broken. She has broken them, and they have left their old version behind them, and they have stepped into their new version. So your problem is solved. Now all you have to do is open the door and step into it. Because you guys, I mentioned this earlier. You're in a room. It's not a mistake that you're in here. It's time to step up, and we all can step up, and we can all be a little bit better. And if we do that, the world will be better. Okay?
Add one to it. So maybe let me say something about the action. If you want it badly, you will get the results. I always say something: nobody can help you but you. There's nobody. The mind that you have, we don't have the same mind. You reason for yourself. You just have to make that decision within yourself. That's the truth. We rely so much on others to save me. Save me. There's one book that I read, The Power is Within You by Louise Hay. She had cancer too or something. So she realized that she was so relying on other people to help. Other people can only hate you. We have a lot of people that pay for an amount of money for programs, and they never get the results because we kept on pushing people. You have to do this, you have to do that. You just have to make that decision within yourself that I'm ready to move to the next level. Nobody will make that decision for you. You know the decision you need to make. When I made my own decision, I wanted it badly. And then I signed up for a program. When I signed up for that program, they gave us, we have a lot of people on that program, they didn't achieve anything. They didn't. They were like, Mumi, how did you achieve something within a year? I'm like, because I wanted it so bad. I don't like the state I am in right now. I needed to move to the next level. One of the things that I stopped talking about people. I stopped watching the news. It's all negative. I started reading a whole lot. I turned my home to, we've done a whole lot together. I turned my home to books. When I'm talking to my friend, I reference to one book or the other. I'm like, oh, I read something here. If you're talking to me about something that doesn't align with who I am becoming, I cut you off. I started looking at the people around me. When we're talking, you're talking about something else. I want to change the conversation to what really mattered to me. When she was talking, she's talking about yourself. I started loving myself. It's all about me. It's not about you. No. People say that you have to give sacrifices. I have to sacrifice something that I feel that is more important. I have to take care of me for me to be able to take care of you. For you to attract, you have to believe that you deserve it. So everything is starting within you. You have to start working on yourself. How do you start working on yourself? What she talked about, the affirmation, that is powerful. When I do my affirmation, I always tell myself that I am successful. I am amazing. I am attracting the right people at the right time. I am attracting great people. This lady right here, I met her here. When I moved to Houston, I didn't know anybody other than my colleagues. I started attracting because I kept on talking about it. I made that decision within myself. You know what to do. If you keep on relying on other people, you won't achieve anything. Everything starts within you. They say, take stock of your life. look at the pattern, because if you follow the pattern, you'll be getting the same result. You realize the pattern, oh, when I do this, this is what I get. If you don't want that result, you know what to do. So nobody will force you to sign up for any program. As I say, we're not selling. It's a decision you have to make within yourself. So you have the answer, you know what you're supposed to do. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. All right, awesome. Any more questions or comments, observations, anything you'd like to? Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Vanessa. Thank you for having me here with me. I didn't even think I'll make it, you know already, right? I'm coming from a health background, and I want to remind every one of us to try and feed our mind. Your mind is the powerhouse of everything you're trying to achieve. Try sleeping. Try eating well. Try relaxing. As women especially, we go through a lot, and just like Vladdy said, we always think that, you know, we're a powerhouse. I went through that till I had, you know, what happened recently. I thought I was going to die the next day, but that was the call to home, and I had to start taking care of myself better. But you need to start feeding your mind. Sleep, eat, relax, laugh. Look for a friend. Speak to someone. Don't think you can bottle everything in, because depression is real. When it creeps in, you won't even know. You can want to achieve anything you want to achieve. You can write the whole, you know, plan that you have for yourself, but you need to feed your mind first. So let's take care of ourselves, our mind, because, you know, I see all these diseases, sickness. I never thought I would have a headache one day. I used to work 24 hours because I wanted to make a lot of money, but I learned that it's not the money. Money is just paper. It's all in the mind. You can achieve whatever you want to achieve. I've been in Houston for 1 year now, right? I came in the same time almost as you or before, and we met, and we talk about a lot of things, and she's great. I listen to the way she talks, and I'm like, this would be a good person to hang around, you know, because she's always affirming. But like I said, let's take care of ourselves. Depression is real. Let's just try and relax and, you know, do what we do and always believe God. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any more questions? All right, looks like we've had a very great time. Moving on to the very last piece of this event will be photo moments. But also quickly before we do that, we would love to get testimonials from anyone who would love to go in front of the camera to just share their experience here today, so that, you know, we can have archives of like the great things that happened today. So please, we would want to encourage as many people as possible who would like to just go in front of the camera to just share their experience of today's event. I would like to hand over to Wumi once again to come and give a vote of thanks and, you know, just wish all of us well. All right.
Oh my God. So thank you all for coming here. It's, I think I would say that you guys are my manifestation, really. It's something that I've already imagined in my mind, that I wanted to do this. Initially, I was like, how will I even bring people together? I don't even plan to do this. And then the push has actually kept on coming up. I called one speaker, oh, do you want to talk? And I'm like, oh, what date is it? And then she was like, I will be there. The same thing where you would just send you an email and then you confirm straight up. The same thing, you came from London. And then every other person, I'm so grateful to have you all here. This is my ever first event, in-person events. I've done quite a number of things, and then I'm so happy for all of you. I'm so happy. Bosse, my friend, Pira, my colleague, Beju, you came from Boston. Thank you so much. Miss Alon, thank you. Thank you all. I really, really do appreciate. And then I would really appreciate your feedback, you know, every event, you know. It's always good to get feedback. My email is on the flyer. I will appreciate your feedback because we want to be having this kind of event all over again. Because the more we pass this message, the more we feel fulfilled within ourselves, and that the people around us, they get fulfilled as well. Because nothing is taken from you when you give to the other person. The knowledge you have, the idea you have, it takes nothing away from you. we feel that when I do this, oh my God, it's going to be this for me. No, nothing is taken from you, because if you make the next person's life better, you are just the best of yourself. Thank you all. And I really want the pictures. That is very, very important to me, because of the next event, you know. So we're doing the next event in January. So we want it to be twice in a year. First week in January, we're having another event. That's why I want you all to do the letter to your future self. And that I believe that you're going to get the result, because I am getting the result. And I guess what, we never get to that destination. We keep on walking. She said something that I really love. I know I'm going back. That the journey is not about the destination, it's what you become in the process. Who you are becoming in the process. And guess what? Whatever you are doing now, the decision you make today, you will get the result tomorrow. And then tomorrow you make that decision, you're still going to get another decision next tomorrow. I know that quite a number of you want to make a decision. The decision you make now, you get the answer tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll keep on complaining like every other person. Thank you so much once again. Yeah, let's go and take the pictures. Thank you. Thank you.
You can go, I'll take it.
Yeah.
All right, please, for testimonials, we would love anyone interested in making a video testimonial. Please do that.